Good evening. Welcome again. It's Saturday, 7 p.m. 2 and I think it's about 5 p.m. in the UK and same in Lagos, Nigeria. So I'm excited to welcome you to the conversation today. Wherever you're joining from, you're superbly welcome. Excited to welcome you as always. So quickly, just as we do, I invite you to go ahead and invite someone to be part of the session today. Go on and welcome somebody. Go on and share the link and invite someone. Get on with our conversation today. It's always interesting to have conversation with you. We're talking with someone or we're doing a little teaching. It's always enough time together. So I just want to encourage you to sit back and invite someone to join you in today's time together. I'm Chigozie George. It's a pleasure to be with you. We're going to be looking at a couple of things this evening as I shared on my wall today. We're going to be dealing on build up. Build up. This is the episode 2 of the teaching on building up. Quickly, I want to encourage you one more time. Invite someone to be part of the conversation of the teaching today. Build up, build up, build up. By the way, I hope you had a very beautiful week. I hope you had a wonderful week. I had a great week. I had the time off this week to spend time with my family, and it's been very, very beautiful for me. So I want to talk about something that is quite impressed in my heart throughout this week. And like a couple of weeks ago, I did a teaching as inspired by my wife. I did a teaching on building up, what it takes to build up something. You know, she encouraged that with all the experience that we getting as we're trying to build up a couple of things, say, why don't you share these experiences with people that it will be very helpful. So that's what we're going to be doing on the second episode of build up in the standout conversation today. I have a couple of points that I have written down that I want to share with you this evening, and I guess it's morning in the US. So I want to encourage you one more time. Get ready to be part of the conversation. And if you have any question, as you know, I'm always excited to answer your questions. Whatever be the question that you have, I'm excited to I'm excited to take your questions today. We are going to be talking about what it takes to build up, whether it's to build up a business, whether it's to build up a company, a huge company, a small company. Oftentimes, what it takes to do all of this is usually the same. The same. There's nothing that says the smaller the company, the smaller the stress. It's just that the smaller the company, the smaller the mind, the smaller the business. If a man's mind is wide open, you see that his dreams and his aspirations are wide open. If a person's mind is small, their dreams are small, their motivations are small, their inspirations are small, and the things that they would desire to pursue is also small. So you see people's aspirations reveal their mind. People's aspiration reveal their mind. People's aspiration reveal their background. People's aspiration reveal what's happening in their mind. I like to always say that, the content of a man's life, a man's heart determines what's seen on the outward appearance of their life. The content of a man's heart determines what is often seen on the outward of their life. One of the things people need to understand is you cannot pretend for so long. You cannot pretend for so long. If you don't have it, you don't have it in you. And if you can do it, even if you pretend that you cannot do it, in the fullness of time, people will find out that you can do it. So welcome to today's conversation. And as I said, go ahead and invite someone to be part of the conversation today. I know it's going to be a wonderful time. I'm going to be sharing with you a couple of points, a couple of thoughts on 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 building up. So let's get busy. Let's get busy with it. Let's get busy with that. Okay, okay. Let me start with saying something that I want to quickly talk about. It's competence. Competence. I love to always talk about competence in the sense that no matter what you're doing, no matter the business you're pursuing, it is important that you are competent in that business. It is important that you are competent in that business. Now, unless you're a politician, unless you are a politician, I don't always think that politicians are the most competent people in their field. You know, I don't always think they are competent in making promises, they are competent in oratory, they are competent in all of this. But in real life world where it comes down to doing the work, you've got to be competent. You have got to be competent. You have got to be competent. Competent will trump a lot of things. Competence will trump a lot of things in your life. You've got to learn to be competent. So improve daily in your skill. Improve daily in your skill. Whatever you know, get to know it better. Whatever area you choose to pursue, get to be better in that area. That is one thing I always try to emphasize. Whatever area you get to pursue, whatever, it doesn't matter what field it is. If you have, you will always hear me say over and over and over that success is possible in any field. It does not matter the field. Success is possible in any field. It doesn't matter the field. If you will continue to strive, if you continue to give yourself wholly to it, if you continue to improve your skill in that area, you are going to become successful in that area. But the most important thing is, if you are on this level of success, to I mean this level of competence today, you want to be you want to get better. You don't want to be in a position where people work with you because there are no other options. Now, whether it's a product you're selling or a service that you're selling, one of the things that you've got to do is to make sure that people are not patronizing you because they don't have options. Now, most of us, if you live in an area where there are, how do I put it? You live in areas where there are shops around you, where there are small shops around you. You find out that certain times you buy from certain shops simply because they don't have another competitor around them. There's no competition around them. So when there's no competition, competence is not challenged. When there's no competition, competence is not challenged. So, but competition will always drive you to check your level of competence. That am I good in it? But when you see competition, you find out that the areas where you're not strong enough, you are driven to improve upon it. So if you're going to be successful in building your business, if you're going to be successful in building your company, if you're going to be successful in your career, you have got to check your level of competence. Don't let people work with you because they don't have options. Let people work with you because they choose you in the midst of all options. They don't just choose you because of sentiment. They choose you because they know that your competent level is high. They know that you are a high performer in the company. They know that you will deliver in the company. They know that you have what it takes to deliver. They know that you have what it takes to deliver on what you have been asked to do. They know you have the competence required to perform the task that has been given to you. That's why competence is really important. Develop competence. Develop competence. Know what you're doing. Whatever field you are in, aim in that field should always be in the top three. Whatever field you're in, your aim should be in the I want to be in the top three. There's no way you'll be in the top three of any field in your life and you won't be successful. It's not possible. There's no way. Now, let me say this. If you live in a community of 50,000 people, your success is limited to that 50,000 people. Now, last week we spoke about environment. Now, if you want more success, you got to get out of that environment also. Now, or you got to find a way to reach out to people beyond that environment. Now, that's for last week. Now, but in that community of 50,000 people, you have got to try to be the top three in that field, in that community. And you cannot be top three without competence. Competence is essential for every company. Competence is essential for every business. Competence is essential for every individual career. I repeat, you don't want people working with you because they don't have options. And that means they think to themselves, if we grow, when we get better, we don't need this person around. This person is not qualified or is not a high performer for the next level of our growth. So you've got to always constantly improve, read the book that you need to read, attend the conference that you need to attend, and take the refreshers course as much as possible. In every field there are refreshers courses, refreshers programs. Take them as much as you can. Improve on your level of competence. The learners will always be leaders. Readers will always be leaders. Those who learn more will always succeed more, because the more you learn, the more innovative you become. The more you learn, the more innovative you become in your field. Be competent. Number two is commitment. Commit to growth. Like, commit to growth. Say to yourself, I'm going to commit to growing. I'm going to commit to growing. Commit to growth. I'm going to commit to growing, commit to growth. It's important. I want to see, the thing is, no matter how passionate you are, no matter how passionate you are about what you're doing, no matter how passionate you are about what you think, whatever it is that you want to achieve, no matter how passionate you are about it, the truth is, without commitment, passion is meaningless. You can love your goals, you can love the idea, you can love whatever. You can have extreme passion and say, I'm passionate about these, I'm passionate about these, I'm passionate about that. Without passion, without commitment, passion is nothing. Without commitment, passion is nothing. Nice to have you. I see. Oh, Junior. Bonsoir, Junior. Is it bonsoir or bonjour? Bonjour, Michel. Michel Junior. Ça va? I wish I could bring Junior to speak French. His French is perfect. Anyway, I always talk about the guy. His French is perfect. He doesn't speak French like the French I hear around. His French is top of the shelf French. Anyway, no matter the goals you have, no matter the goals and the aspirations you have, truth is, no matter how passionate you are about them, if you're not committed, you're not going to go far with it. You're not going to do anything with that. Passion is nothing without commitment. Passion is meaningless without commitment. Passion is meaningless without making effort to commit yourself wholly to whatever it is. In fact, I tell myself that a mixture of passion and commitment will drive you through any barriers. Because the truth is, there are barriers to whatever you have decided to pursue. There are barriers to whatever you have decided to pursue. Even if you have all the money in the world, yes, the money will make a lot of things easier for you. That's the truth. Money will make a lot of things easier for you, but there will be barriers beyond money. There will be other things. For some persons, their biggest barrier is money. But when you have the money, there are other barriers that will also come. It will be discouraging, it will be challenging, it will be tough. But commitment and passion will drive you through every barrier. Commitment and passion will drive you through every barrier. So I'm encouraging, I'm saying beyond what you're passionate about, beyond confessions of passion, beyond your confessions of passion, mix it with a dose of commitment and say to yourself, I will be passionate, but even more, I will be committed. See, whatever is worthwhile in life requires commitment. Let me say this for purpose of rhyming that commit passion without commitment is equals to a television show. Passion without commitment is equal to a television show. Because the truth is, you see kids that watch TV shows or TV cartoons or programs and all of that. They have passion for it, real passion, but they can't participate in it. They're not involved in it. So it's just a show for them. It's just a show. The reality is, without commitment, it will just be a show for you. You will just watch all your goals and aspiration go away. You watch all your goals and aspiration become like a TV show without commitment. But when you're passionate and you have commitment, you have what it takes. That means you've taken a step to making those dreams and aspirations become a reality. So take note of that. Take note of that. It is important that you understand this. Now, let me quickly say this. I've said that whatever it is that is worthwhile requires that you pay certain prices for it. Whatever it is that you do, whatever it is that you do, and you want to be successful in it, you think is worthwhile, it requires that you pay price for it. It requires a price. Whether it's love, you want to be successful in love, it requires a price. You want to be successful in your studies, it requires a prize. You want to be successful in building your business, it requires a prize. You want to change your you want to be healthier, it requires a prize. You want to be fitter, it requires a prize. Everything in life requires a price, and commitment is a price to pay. And those prices can come in form of the time invested. You invest your time. It can come in the money invested. It could come in the tears invested, fears invested, discipline invested, risk invested. I always tell people it is riskier to not take risk. It is riskier to not take risk. So you got to take risk. So you've got to commit yourself to say, I'm going to commit to time, investing my time into what I'm passionate about. I'm passionate about my company. I'm passionate about my business. I'm passionate about my career. I'm passionate about my marriage. I'm passionate about whatever it is I'm passionate about. I'm going to commit my time. I'm going to commit my money. I'm going to commit my tears. I'm going to commit the pains, the heartaches. I'm going to commit great amount of discipline. I'm going to take risk. The truth is, there is nothing worthwhile without a prize. And the prize are these I have listed, and these are things that comes with commitment. Great commitment. Passion without commitment, I said, is equal to you just watching a television show and all your dreams and aspirations are flashing by and going by you. Let me quickly say this. It's been proven that we regret more the things we did not do than the things that we did. We regret the things we did not do than the things that we did. We regret the steps we didn't take. We regret more of the steps we didn't take. We regret more of the things we didn't do than the things that we did. So it means that even if you fail, there is this closure you have in your heart. Say, at least I did I did my best. At least I made that move. But the regret of what would have been is greater. The regret of what would have been is greater. So it's always to say, I saw it to the end. I saw it to the end. I followed it to the end. And that's going to lead us to something else that I'm going to say later. That's going to lead us to something I'm going to say later. That's going to lead us to something I'm going to say later. So stick with me on that. Now, I want to say this when it comes to commitment. Working 8 hours, let me say this. You know, I always make this joke with comedians. I mean, sorry, with doctors. Doctors tell you something like they say to you, and the doctors will say, um, they say, sleep more than 8 hours. They say sleep more than 8 hours. Sleep more than 8 hours. But I rarely see doctors that catch those 8 hours. I'm not discouraging you from sleeping 8 hours, but I'm saying that at a certain point in your life, 8 hours is the effort you put in for survival. 8 hours into your work, 8 hours into your business, 8 hours into your career, 8 hours into your company, 8 hours into whatever you do. 8 hours at certain point in your life are the hours you put in for survival, just to survive. But if you want to be a high performer, if you want to be a top 10, a top 5, a top 3 performer, if you want to be number one, 8 hours is not enough. 8 hours is not enough. Whether as a student, 8 hours is not enough. Whether as someone building a company, 8 hours daily on that company is not enough. There are times that you need to go with 12 hours, 15 hours. There are times that you do 4 hours of sleep trying to build that company. There's time, is the build up process, is the build up timing. So you got to understand this. At a certain point in your life, 8 hours is not enough. And say, I've done enough. The truth is, oh, I'm on holiday, I can't take calls. That's for companies that have blown and are successful. Even at that point, they have customer care that answers 24 hours. So you are just trying to build up a business. You have got to build your people around you who wouldn't say, I'm on holiday, I can't take calls. I'm on holiday, I can't take calls. No. When you're building something, there's no holiday during the building process. You stick with it till you have built it up. There's no holiday. You stick with it. You are up and ready to respond to calls. You're up and ready to respond to that email. You're up to respond to that fax. Whatever it is that you need to get done, you're ready and up to do it. That's something you got to keep in mind. Really important. So I'm on holiday, 8 hours. I'm on holiday and 8 hours work is not enough. If you want to build up, commit to the required hours. If you want to build up, commit to the required hours. If you want to build up something, commit to the required hours. If you want to be successful in it, commit to the required hours. Okay. Like I always say, I want to encourage you while we're on it. Try to share the link and invite someone to be part of the teaching. I appreciate everyone that is joining. You feel free, like we always say, to send me your comments. Feel free to send me your question if you have a question you want me to answer. I'm more than happy to respond to your questions. It's always a joy for me to answer any question that I have when I'm doing my teachings. So feel free if you have any question that you want me to answer. I'm there to respond to your questions as always. So I was saying that 8 hours is not, it's the minimum. It's for survival. If you want to do more, you got to put in more. If you want to do more, if you want to be more, you got to do more. If you want to even do more, you got to be more. Not just do more, be more. Okay, let me quickly touch on one more thing. One more thing before we round up for this Saturday. You know, you've got to learn that, like I said, passion is not enough. You've got to have a lot of commitment. You've got to have competence, and then you've got to learn to have persistence. See, if you are going to build anything that will last a long time, anything, one of the things you've got to learn is that it will take time. It's not going to be done, it's not going to be built in a day. It will take time. It's not going to be done in one day. It's not going to be ready in 2 days. It will take time. The question is, are you ready to wait for it and do all that you need to do while you're waiting for it? Persistence is important. Don't give up on your goals. It's not going to come easily. Don't give up on your goals. It's not going to come easy. Don't give up on your goals. Don't give up on, don't say to yourself, oh, there are so many competitors ahead of us. There are so many companies in the same field ahead of us. There are so many people manufacturing cars, yet everybody comes in, yet someone comes in with a new sort of idea in their car and still succeed. There are many clothing brands, yet you see these new clothing brands come up and they succeed. So don't say to yourself, "Oh, I'm sorry, please." Don't say to yourself, "Oh, it's too tough." If it's tough, become tougher. Persist in chasing your goals. Persist in chasing your goals. Persist in chasing your goals. But the another side of persistence, which is which is sometimes we persist in the wrong thing. I want to say that quickly. Sometimes we persist in the wrong thing. While persistence is important, flexibility is added value in persistence. Flexibility is added value in persistence. Now, flexibility means open minded, being open minded. Remember that always say, it is only mad people that do the same thing the same way and expect a different result. It's only mad people that do the same thing the same way and expect a different result. There was I think it was the author of Think and Grow Rich. Yeah, was it? Yeah, I think so. About Thomas Edison saying, if your 10,000 time experiment had failed on the light bulb, what would you have done? And he said, I will still be in the laboratory trying a new experiment to find new ways to make it work. Now, his ultimate goal is what? The light bulb. 10,000 time experiment did not discourage him. Now, that's persistent. But he did not try the same experiment 1,000 times. He tried it in different ways. So, meaning you have your goal, you have your vision of what you want to be, what your company wants to be, what your business wants to be, what product and services you want to offer. But you've got to understand that it may not just be one way. It might take more than one way to make it work. So you've got to be open-minded and flexible, but persist in achieving the goal. Persist in achieving the goal. That's essential. Persist in achieving the goal. Do not give up on the goal. Persist in achieving the goal. That's something I feel like I want to share with you tonight. Persist in achieving your goal, but be flexible. Flexibility is key. It's added value. You say to yourself, this is my goal, this is my inspiration, this is what I want to achieve. But I've tried it in this way. I need to try something else. I need to try it in another way. You're not giving up on your goal. You're not working up on the plan. You're not working up on the long term vision or long term goals for yourself, for your business, for whatever you're doing. You're not walking away from it, but you're saying to yourself, I'm going to try another way. Be flexible, be open minded. That's and being open minded and being flexible is really an added value. It's really an added value. So I'm gonna stop here and thank you for being part of the conversation today. I've highlighted a couple of points. I said whatever is while whatever is a worthwhile achievement requires that you pay the price, and the price may be the time that you will throw into it. It may be it may be the it may be the time that you would throw into it. It may be maybe the time that you would throw into it. It may be money you would throw into it, the tears, it may be whatever it is. It requires that you make commitment towards it. That's the reality. It requires that you make commitment towards it. And I've said working 8 hours is not enough. 8 hours is for survival. It won't take you to the top. Maybe I want to quickly add something before I leave you out. Believe that the impossible can be possible. I read a story this week that caught my attention much. It talks about a tunnel that was built in India about 1,000 years ago. Think about it. 1,000 years ago. I think it was about between the 8th century or something. About 1,000 years ago. Think about this. About 1,000 years ago. The strange thing about this tunnel is that it goes on for miles. But in this tunnel, it could take two horses and two horse riders at the same time to ride for miles. The question is, how do you how did they do it to have lights and all the equipment required to do it 1,000 years ago? The skill that they didn't have all of these that we have now. And those tunnels are just being discovered in this century. I think about not too long ago they were discovered and they're still there. The structures that have been built in these ages with all our advancements are still not as durable as structures of those days. So I could tell you that the current limitations you have right now are not enough to stop your vision, to stop your dream. Your company can be built strong. You can achieve it, you can do it if you commit yourself to it, if you persist in it, if you continue to raise the level of your competence. If you continue to raise the level of your competence, if you continue to raise the level of your commitment, pay the prices you need to pay, if you persist in it, you can build the business, the company, the relationship, whatever you want to build, you can build it up. So you can build it up successfully. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm Chigozie George. I hope that tonight you found inspiration to get out to do what you want to do and to achieve your goals and aspirations. Till I come your way next week with my guest, I wish you a very wonderful and productive week. Thank you so much.